Astro is a technology that is really exciting to the team of us at CloudCannon, but we'd sort of heard about its island architecture and sort of the new interesting things it was doing with JavaScript. So we were all very, very interested in seeing what it could do. And I think it's an SSG that aligns very well with what CloudCannon's trying to do with SSGs and things that developers at CloudCannon are trying to do with SSGs that made it very appealing to us. Astro's really interesting in that they're focused on building these very lean, very performance sites. You know, they want hundreds across the board in Lighthouse, really good core web vitals and things like that. And that's something that, you know, at CloudCannon, we've been both sort of as a company and as individual developers, you know, sort of interested in a long time, the sort of the lean web, the, you know, JavaScript only for interactivity in the sort of very progressive enhancement kind of way, you know, sort of moving away from some of the heavier weight front end frameworks. I think Astro has hit on something really good here where you can still use your front end framework of choice. And I think a lot of them are actually quite good abstractions when it comes to building a UI, but you don't have to pay that front end performance cost to it. You know, you do get these very lean, very performant, hundreds across the board sites with whatever you want to use, really. We started pushing towards our out of beta right around their 2.0 release, and that added the content collections feature, and sort of at that point and everything sort of fell into place. We're like, all right, we've got the right idioms here, we've laid out the site, and that sort of naturally matches what CloudCannon wants in terms of content. Yeah, as soon as that feature came out, it sort of became obvious that all of your markdown should be a collection. You make a CloudCannon collection that points at each one of those, and then you use all of your JavaScript to get that content where it needs to be. The Astro team have been great. So I think we've only encountered a couple of bugs in Astro, or between Astro and CloudCannon, as we've been integrating it. And the first of those, the core team was super helpful. I think Ben sort of sat with me in a Slack thread for a good chunk of time as we sort of went back and forth and diagnosed the issue. And once we did diagnose it, it turned out it had already been fixed. So that was a happy resolution for everyone involved. And then the second issue we encountered, we put into a GitHub issue and let them know. And by the time we came back, someone else from the Astro team unrelatedly had already picked it up and fixed it. So, you know, they're super on the ball, even if you don't have a Slack channel where you can annoy them directly. They're just awesome. Full support for an SSG in CloudCannon generally means that we want to have at least one good template for that SSG. And we want that template to really show off either our live visual editing in a page builder style flow like our Astro Send It does, or to really highlight a more content-based editing flow with markdown and snippets. And then alongside that, we want to have really good SSG specific documentation for that SSG. So that means our getting started with Astro and CloudCannon guide, and, you know, having our little specific callouts to Astro sort of throughout our docs. Yeah, I guess I'd like to first give a big shout out to everyone from the Astro team who really joined in and helped us out. I think this is probably the first time a team behind an SSG has really reached out to us and worked so closely with us to get it done. So Tui, Ben, Fred, I think Erica, who swooped in and fixed our issue, even though she maybe doesn't know it. Big shout out to all of them for helping us through. definitely if I were to be making a static site for myself, or even a full web app with SSR or anything like that, Astro would be my choice. I think it's just awesome. I'm super excited to see where Astro's going and what they come up with next. Already we've seen them, drop content collections, drop images in front matter, markdown, mark doc support. It's lots of cool things coming out from the Astro team. I'm really excited to look more into some of these other editing flows with Astro. Earlier, we mentioned a more content-based editing approach with MDX or MarkDoc and snippets, and these are MDX snippets are very new, and we're definitely looking at how we can make those really work very nicely, be super polished and user friendly. And MarkDoc snippets we've got sort of in the pipeline, kind of in private beta at the moment. And very, very early days, but we've been experimenting around with a bookshop integration for Astro to help people manage their components and integrate them with their page building or content-based workflows through those snippet features. So it's all looking very exciting for the future, and yeah, really, really excited to see what happens.